What's up, YouTube? How is it going? It is another hot evening here. Was a sweaty mess a little bit ago. I just got home from jiu-jitsu. A little beat up. I'm gonna probably have another black eye on this side. It's part of jiu-jitsu. Sometimes you just happen to get elbows, knees, or heads. I mean, sometimes it just happens. Hi, crew! Welcome back to my channel. I've been kind of thinking about this for a while, and especially as of recently, maybe the last year or so, that I kind of wanted to share with you guys. You're so precious. Personal stuff. It's like kind of my own personal journey, my spiritual journey, I guess you could say, that I've been experiencing and kind of going through and getting more in touch with over the past year. And it has to do with us being social media. It has to be with an influencer, kind of like where the position I'm in and what I do. Having a lot of people look up to you, and just I kind of wanted to share what I've learned over the years doing this, and you know, a lot of it's good and a lot of it's bad. There's some bad things, but it's one of those things I don't regret, because I believe this life is about growth. It's about growing. It's about learning from everything you encounter. It can be good, bad, happy, sad, no matter what it is. This life is about growth, and it's about embracing the good and the bad. And so I just kind of wanted to share some things with you guys, and yeah. I don't know what's going on right now. Okay. Okay. So let's start with number one, me, what I do, what I've been doing, the success that I've had over the years, just with my own self, with my own goals, with things that I've accomplished. You know, it was one of those things, is I knew I wanted to keep going somewhere in life, and I wanted to try something new. I wanted to do things that I was enjoy, but I never really knew exactly what that was. I don't think any of us knows exactly what we want to do at any moment. Some of us are changing all the time, changing what we're doing, changing what we like, changing what we're involved in. And you know, if you asked me, you know, 5 years ago, oh, do you want to be a big social media, you know, role model and influencer? Do you want to be like making YouTube videos and have your own app and all these things? I would have been like, you're crazy. No, because I was homeschooled. A lot of you watch my transformation story. I kind of open up about I was homeschooled. I was sheltered. So for me, the outside world was really scary. Just conversing with people, connecting with people was really scary for me. It was really hard for me because I felt kind of just socially incapable of that, like just connecting with other people, because it was always, you know, I was the oldest, and I always kind of entertained myself, and I always isolated myself all the time, and I grew up that way. So it kind of carried into my adulthood. So I didn't really like attention. It wasn't like, come here, look at me, you know, I was never that kind of person. But I was aware that it was holding me back. It was a roadblock, you know, and it was holding me back from a lot of things I want to do, and I wasn't happy about that. When I first competed in a bikini competition, and at that time I wasn't doing I was doing social media, but it wasn't anywhere near what it is now with the following I have. I did it because I knew that getting on a stage, being in front of people, and going out of my comfort zone was going to help push me forward. It was going to help me get past that rut I was stuck in with myself that had become my lifestyle. It did. It helped a lot. And from that point on, I kind of got thrusted into just being a social media influencer. Everything just blew up really fast. And I went with it, you know. It was exciting, and I was feeling more confident and comfortable around people and society. And then I realized how much of an influence I had on so many people, and especially women. Now, coming from my background, and I was very shy, I wasn't confident, I had low self-esteem. I mean, I isolated myself. I hid from people for the longest time. I literally would, when I would see, if I was out, I tried to avoid contact with people as much as I could. And when I would be walking in a store, I'd be walking down the aisle, someone would be coming at me, I would make it a point to walk a different direction because I did not want to have to look at that person or have any kind of contact. So that's how insecure I was with a lot of things. Social media, it really opened me up to become more social and become, you know, what I'm doing right now, how I'm talking to you guys, I'm sharing with you guys, like meeting people. It's so much more comfortable for me now. There's so many different people out there, different energy styles, and just people in general. I love seeing all the different people. I love meeting and connecting with so many different people now, when I never used to be that way, but it was just that thing that I had to put myself in that position. And social media, all the people looking up to me, kind of forced me to get out of my comfort zone and be more social. So that is something that I really am grateful for from social media, because it brought me out of my shell. And not only that, I have created some great things, my app, my supplement line, my clothing line. Those are like the biggest main things that I'm so proud of. I've done a lot of other things through the course of the last few years, but I did let a lot of things go because I just felt like I didn't need them. I felt like it wasn't really making me happy, and some of them were just stressing me out more than they were helping me. So I just kind of let those things go and held on to the things that really matter to me. My business, my gym, my NutriShop, that me and Zach run together. We've been doing that for 8 years. But there is a dark side to social media. I have come to learn that. It took me a few years. About a year ago, it kind of was a big slap in the face and what it can really do to people, and I experienced it myself. I realized that I needed to make some changes. Talk a little bit about what I mean about the dark side of social media or just technology. And one thing I learned with myself is through the course of building my brand through social media and the amount of attention you get, do become this public figure and you have a large following, you kind of get this pressure put on you that you need to be constantly bringing something, you need to constantly be posting something. And you can see when you start doing this, it becomes a habit, and then you feel obligated that you have to do it. You can also see that eventually it does, for most people, and I know for myself, you get burnout. It kind of loses its luster. I guess the best way to explain it, it loses sight of what the excitement is of posting something. You're doing it more for specific reasons, and they kind of become more like forced reasons. I remember going through a period of just taking selfies all the time. It's a waste of time because I would spend a lot of time taking selfies. And I know a lot of you could probably relate with that. Then of course, doing YouTube videos and doing Twitter and doing Snapchat, you get into this habit where you're constantly on that all the time. It becomes your lifestyle. And I know for a good period of time, I was consumed by every single social media platform I was doing. Your friends and family around you most of the time are probably not doing the same thing that you are. They're not keeping busy in that kind of manner like you are. You think, oh, this is my business, this is my job, I gotta do this, and you don't really think about how much it interferes with everything around you. And I know for a good period of time, I didn't see this, and I didn't even realize this, like a lot of my friends and family and Zach, they don't do social media the way I do. And when I would always bring my camera around, I'm recording things all the time, a lot of them would be like, why don't you hang out with us and not be like on your phone and recording all the time? And I would always say, oh, I gotta do this, it's my job, I gotta post something, I gotta do this, and it was what I said, and I truly believed it, and it ended up kind of being like an excuse, but you don't realize, you take the closest people around you for granted. And I was doing that. You just get so consumed, and then you're constantly like, every 5 minutes you're like checking your phone, scrolling, going through it. It becomes your lifestyle. It becomes like what you do. The sad thing is the more that you're on your phone and you let that consume you, the more disconnected you get from like real things, real people, real experiences. Like you're constantly living through your phone. Instead of actually contacting someone and being like, hey, how are you? You're scrolling through your social media, you're like, oh, they did this today. So you don't even bother to really reach out to them. And that's how you're connecting with those people. And we get to that point where we really get disconnected from real people. And I experienced that. And because I do all my own editing on my YouTube videos and, all my posts, I don't pay anybody to do any of that for me, because I feel like it keeps the rawness, it keeps the realness, and it keeps it from you. And two, it can get expensive, and you know, it's one of those things is where you're kind of like, where do I want to put my money, you know? And when you own, you know, I have my social media businesses, but I also own a gym, I also own a supplement shop, so you kind of think about, you have to think about, you know, where you're gonna put your money. You know, I pay employees, you know, so that's, you know, I prefer to pay my employees at my place of business versus my social media stuff, because I can just do that myself. I was so connected to my social media world that I started losing connection to friends and family, and you know, everybody still loved me, they still were there, you know, this, that, but everyone just started adapting more to this lifestyle that I was living, that, oh, Jen's traveling, oh, Jen's busy, oh, Jen's on her phone, oh, I'm not gonna bother her because she needs to do this, she needs to do that. I mean, I was constantly, it's to the point where I know some of you can admit to this, where you're at dinner when you should be like conversing with everybody, but you're on your phone and you're just, this went on for a good, I want to say almost 2 years, you know, this pattern, because you get so consumed by being so busy in that, and you start to lose sight of everything around you, and you start to lose sight of the most important thing of all, and that's yourself. So you keep giving to the social media and then you stop giving to yourself. It can lead down a pretty depressing road. You know, everyone was super supportive of me, wanted me to reach those goals, which I can't thank them enough for that, you know, but it's, you know, that's family for you, that no matter, you know, if you're social media famous or whatever, or you're not, they're the ones that are always going to be there for you. They were there for you in the beginning, and they're going to be there for you in the end. The sad thing about it is I do recall Zach and my mom and my sister and friends, they kind of would make mentions. They're like, hey, maybe you can just hang out with us and maybe put your phone away for a little bit, you know. But when you know, you get kind of like, just, you get so consumed by it, and you kind of get, you know, defensive, and you have excuses, and you have, oh, I gotta do this, and you keep doing that, and you're pretty adamant about it, that eventually those people stop. And when they stop, what happens? You continue to do what you're doing, and everybody just starts to adapt to the situation. When you're a social media influencer, or you're doing, you know, YouTube, or you're doing whatever you're doing on social media, is, you know, a lot of people don't want to do the same thing as you. They kind of want a little bit more privacy. They want kind of a little bit more of their own life. You know, they have different goals, they have different views, and you have to be understanding. And I know for a period I wasn't really understanding, but it was so new to me and it was so exciting. I didn't really grasp that. And I just wanted, you know, to keep continuing as doing, and especially, you know, I was like, man, I'm making such a huge impact, tackling some amazing goals and getting some amazing opportunities. It was a year ago. I was in the most beautiful place in the world. I believe it was the Dominican Republic, I think it was. I mean, who wouldn't want to be enjoying these amazing views and beaches, a paid trip? But I remember I was sitting on the beach, and I was sitting there and I was looking out, and I was like, yeah, and I think I was doing a Snapchat or something, and after I did the Snapchat, I put it down, and I just got this really weird, like, feeling in my stomach. And you know, we get that feeling a lot of times, and then also that feeling of guilt or something. It's our intuition, which we ignore a lot. It's like, I really don't feel good right now. I kind of miserable, actually. It's quiet, nobody was around for once, and I was sitting there, and I started really thinking about myself and how I really felt, and I realized how miserable I really was. And I was like, I'm in the most beautiful place in the world, but I am actually truly not happy. But it wasn't that I wasn't happy where I was at. I was not happy with myself. It really dawned on me. It really hit me. What am I doing? Like, what do I want out of life? What is life? What is our purpose here? And I started really looking deeper into that meaning. I realized that I was chasing a lot of things that were only like temporary fillers, is what I call them, where it's just like they make you feel good for a small amount of time, but once it's gone, you're right back to wherever you were at in the first place. I was chasing a goal on technology, but there's no true like meaning, there's no true goal that with progressing on social media. You know, I'm making a lot of progress and making a lot of success on social media, but what about my own self in my life? You know what? I'm truly not happy with a lot of the things I'm doing. I'm truly not happy with how disconnected I was from Zach and my family and my friends and just my own self. It hit me hard. And I didn't share a lot of it on social media. I mean, probably a lot of you could tell I probably went through periods of up and downs, but I kept it private because it was my own battle. It was my own journey, and I didn't want a lot of outsider opinions and people, you know, influencing in a lot of ways, because this was for my own self. And I think what happens a lot of times with social media is people put too much out there, the good, bad, negative, and they're getting so much from different directions that you can't actually focus on yourself and what you need to do and where you need to go. This life is my life. What do I want to do with this life? And that's really what it came down to. I love Zach. I love him. I mean, we've been together for almost 10 years. He's my best friend. I don't want us to get distant in our relationship because of social media. My family, my friends, the same thing. I didn't want to be disconnected from them. It's important to me. I'm not going to take it for granted. For my own self, is I was tired of being disconnected from myself, and I truly feeling empty. I wasn't feeling very accomplished in a lot of areas, and that was my own like spiritual growth, my own journey. Turned down a lot of jobs, turned down a lot of opportunities. I even left a couple of big companies that I was sponsored with, and I just started eliminating things. I didn't make any rash decisions. I sat down and really thought about each one, how it made me feel, like what I wanted for my future with this specific situation. And so I did one by one. I started like eliminating certain things and certain stresses from my life. It really hit me how disconnected I was from life in general. I was so connected into social media and being on there all the time that when I started kind of backing off, it was scary. It was scary. So you hear a lot of people that get so enveloped in social media, and something might happen. People actually commit suicide over not getting enough likes, or even internet bullying, like a lot of those things. It happens. It happens every day, and it happens all the time. But I understood what that meant, why people would go through that, because when I disconnected from social media, I literally felt empty. I felt alone. Even though I had tons of people around me, I felt alone. I was like, what the heck? This is not good. And because I was dependent so much on social media, making posts, seeing what people had to say, seeing people like it, seeing how many likes the photo would get, how many views the video would get. I'm not going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be doing social media for the rest of my life. So that's why I have the businesses I do. Me and Zach have the gym and the Nutri-Shop, because this is something that's, you can continue to have, and it's in your community. You can be a part of the community. You actually can be connected with real people. And that's what I was missing for so long, and I didn't realize it at the time. There's two kinds of people. There's some people who realize something and they actually want to change it, and then there's other people who have that idea but they don't want to, and they just keep doing what they're doing and letting themselves be consumed by whatever it is they're doing.